This is the Liberty 13-liter fruit and vegetable purifier. We have done another video on this model showing how it could make hypochlorous acid. It's very effective at doing that. And this video, we're just going to use it as a fruit and vegetable purifier. Now, for that, it doesn't require any additional salt, any additional vinegar. All you have to do is add tap water, and then through the electrodes, and it has a strong internal fan to spread it around. That'll create hydroxy radicals, which are highly effective at eliminating allergens. It eliminates pesticides. It eliminates dyes. It eliminates eliminate a lot of things, including dust mites. It's been shown to eliminate dust mites, although that's not really a concern with fruits and vegetables. But it does eliminate pesticides and allergens. And one thing just to keep in mind, if somebody's allergic to the produce themselves, it's not going to change the produce. That they'll still be allergic to it. But if they're allergic to things which may be on the produce, either pesticides or other things, then that could help in resolving that issue. Now, hydroxy radicals are something that's created naturally in the environment. It's in the troposphere. That's in the atmosphere, and it works as nature's detergent. It removes chemicals. It removes ozone. It removes a lot of the pollutants that naturally exist in nature, and it does that by penetrating the outer membrane of most of these things. That's how it destroys viruses and bacteria, mold, and it oxidizes them. Now, it also works to change the structure of allergens through oxidation, and when it does that, the body doesn't recognize the allergens and it doesn't have the allergic reaction to it. So again, that's not going to change if somebody's allergic to the item itself, but if they're allergic to something which is on the produce, then that'll help. It could also remove dyes. I know there are some people that claim that it removes dyes. I know there's a big concern of malachite green, which is a dye that they use in some of the fish farms to get rid of bacteria. But the problem, and to get rid of viruses that affect the fish, and malachite green is a toxin. But the thing is, it won't. It only gets rid of things that are on the surface. It's not going to go into the tissue. That's in the only things that it comes in direct contact with. That's what it's going to get rid of. Now, hydroxyl ions, have a very short shelf life. As a matter of fact, almost as soon as you turn the electricity off, the hydroxyl radicals will disappear. It'll reconstitute into H2O. So that's why it's not an effective way to create, for example, disinfecting water, but it is very effective to be used to cleanse and purify things that are in the hydroxyl that are in the water as it's going through the process. Now I'm going to turn this on. You'll see how it works. It has an electrode that creates the hydroxyl ions, the hydroxy radicals, and then it has a very powerful fan that circulates it throughout the machine. So I'm not going to keep it on for the whole cycle, but I'll show you the beginning, the middle, and the end. So first thing we're going to do, I filled it up with kale. Not a great fan of kale, but my daughter's rabbit is. And kale is something that has a very high pesticide content. So that would be exactly the type of thing, it's not the only thing, but that would be the type of thing that you would want to use it on. This stuff was in my fridge for a little while, so it was going bad. Hydroxy radicals also do kill mold, bacteria, and other things. They could even kill dust mites, although that's not really a concern with produce. But so it could give you an additional benefit, not the primary benefit, but it'll also give a longer shelf life to produce that go through the process. It'll keep it longer so you can keep longer in the refrigerator. So we're going to turn it on. Here's the settings. Now we're going to find the one for fruit and hit that one. Oh, we got to hit the power button first. I'm going to hit fruit, and then it's going to start running. Now, if you look on one side, that's where the electrode is. It's creating the hydroxy radicals. And on the other side, the fan is circulating the water around throughout the produce. And there's nothing added to it. There's no salt, there's no vinegar, it's just water. And we're going to check back a little later once the process is complete. Now just checking in mid-cycle, you're going to notice it is a little noisy with the cover up, but once you put the cover down, it dampens a lot of the noise. You'll see that you might see some stuff you might not like floating in here if you're not used to it, but most produce does have, particularly leafy vegetables, they do have insects on them when you buy them in the store. And one of the things Hydroxyl Radicals does is it does kill those insects. So you're going to see some stuff floating in there that you may not expect, and you may want to rinse it off the fruits and vegetables after you take it out. Once the cycle's done, rinse them off in your sink. And we'll check back again once the cycle's finished running. Oh, just to show you the sound, it has a soft release. So if you lower it, it lowers slowly. The lid will close slowly. And then once it closes, you'll notice the difference in sound. So you can still hear it running, but it's a lot quieter with the lid down. Now the cycle's completed. It's a 15-minute cycle for fruit and vegetables. If you look at the settings over here, it has settings for fruit, meat, cutlery, grains, hydroxy water, and then there is an automatic drain function, which we'll show you in a minute. All these are just different time settings. The difference is that for the hydroxy water, which is what we don't make hydroxy water because it's not effective. Because basically, as soon as the electricity is off, the hydroxy radicals reconstitute into H2O. But we do use that for hypochlorous acid. And the only difference in the hydroxy water setting is that the fan doesn't blow to circulate the water. Now, we're going to take this out. If you have this, is a pretty large machine. It weighs about 23 pounds when it's empty. Full, it's going to be extremely heavy because the water adds extra weight to it, which is why it has the automatic drain, which could empty the water out. So I would suggest that this machine, this size, which is really handy because produce takes up a lot of space, but it's something I would only suggest if you have room on your countertop, and you can check the dimensions on the website. If you have room on your countertop, that way it's easy to fill and it's easy to empty, and just straight from the drain. We don't have water near where we're we do have water in our warehouse, but not in this area. So that's why I'm going to just run the other cycle. Once I have it on, I'm going to run some collard greens in there. And the one thing I do like about this, it's a minor thing, but this has the metal grating. Now, one thing you're going to see if you get this is that it says do not place metal in here. And the reason is you don't want the metal touching the electrodes. But the metal grating is fine as long as it's not actually touching the electrodes, which could cause a short circuit or electrocution. But the metal grating actually clips in and it holds the produce on the water, so that way you're ensured that everything was in contact with the hydroxy radicals. Now we're going to take it out. I'm going to put in something else because I want to run another cycle once I have it full of water. If it was for myself, I might do a fresh batch of water if it's something I was eating, just so we can rinse it off and all the things that are floating in there would be flushed out. But it's for my rabbit, nothing harmful in there, and we're going to run another cycle with it. And I'm going to show the drain function after this, and once we're finished running the second cycle. Now it's just completed the second cycle. If you're going to look in there, you're going to see some stuff that you may have not have been expecting. There is some dirt that you do see, the residual dirt. This was clean water before. If you look closely, not going to get into that because that isn't the purpose of this. Most of that's not harmful to you, but the main fact, if you look it up, there's a great article actually, and not always like that, but in the Wikipedia actually has a good article on Hydroxyl Radicals, and you can look up and see more information about that in there. But this does have the added benefit, it actually does clean some stuff that you may have not been aware that was on your produce. And now we're going to show you the drain function. Pardon the messy warehouse. What you do is you press the button over here, turn the power back on. Then we're going to hit the drain. I'm trying to hit the drain while I hold it with one hand. Now shutting off the power will stop the drain mid-function, so you can continue draining it later. I did that because I didn't want to keep you on the video for too much longer. Sorry this video went a little bit longer than most of ours. It's just a product that a lot of people are not familiar with, so I wanted to give as much detail as I could. You can check out the product we have for sale now. It's the Liberty Fruit and Vegetable Purifier, 13 liter. It's on our website at libertysprayers.com with an S at the end, libertysprayers.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for watching and have a great day.